Gambian Talent TV, nyunulela doku betiata. Gambia, ngala doku betiata. Gambian Talent TV, nyunulela doku seneyata. Gambian Talent TV, nyunulela doku betiata ye. Gambia, ngala doku seneyata. Yo Gambian Talent TV, njalam alnal badi malam nene jeli suso bintele bale jantonko. Alkal Gambian Talent TV la moy every day and night. TV la mi yalla nako mashallah ila diamol kabeti yalla la promotional kabeti yalla. Wow. Ala baraka bake, ala baraka fosila koteng.
My name is Abubakar. I live in Linwood. Today I'm here with Pa Ousman, the founder of Gambian Talent TV. Okay, let's make this video happen. Many people don't really know who he is and where he come from, but today I'll be here to tell people who he is and where he come from, and I will be asking him some question that people wish to ask him. Okay, let's start. Hi Pa Ousman.
Hello Abubakar, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good too, thank God.
Okay, many people don't know who you are and where you come from. Today I'm here to confirm so that people will know. Some people wish to see you, but like they don't have the opportunity or the chance to see you. Then today I will make sure their dreams come true. Okay, let's begin. What is your full name?
Thank you Abubakar. My full name is Pa Ousman Joof.
Okay, where do you come from?
From Gambia, a town called Farafenye, the best town in the Gambia. Farafenye is in the North Bank, used to call North Bank Division, now North Bank Region. That's where I was born and raised.
Okay, where what do you do for living? Like, what is your job?
What I do for a living? Raba.
Yeah, like what?
Yes, I'm a raba guy. Pa Ousman is all over the place. I'm a businessman. I have a full-time job. I do media work. So, I mean, this is it. I'm a businessman for the most part. I sell anything. Even you, if you are sellable, I'll sell you.
Okay, but I'm not sellable. What is your education background?
My educational background, I told you I am from Farafenye, Chaku Bantang. Big up to anybody and everybody from Chaku Bantang. So I attended Farafenye Primary Nursery School, Papa Kewa Memorial Nursery School, attended Farafenye Primary School, Farafenye Junior Secondary School, where of course I was the head boy. Then from there I went to St. Augustine's High School. I briefly attended the University of the Gambia. Of course, I did a couple of semesters there before traveling to the United States. I also started studying French at Alliance Franco-Gambien, which I never completed. Then when I came to the United States, I just have an associate in arts from Prince William Sound Community College in Alaska. And so far, that is where I stop. I, of course, have informally taught myself a lot of things that I am doing because I am very curious. I do a lot of research online and stuff, but from the formal and academic perspective, is an associate in arts that I have acquired from Prince William Sound Community College.
Okay, I got it. How do you become a journalist and why?
How I became a journalist and why? Interesting question. All my life, I have been involved with the media directly or indirectly. When I was growing up in Farafenye, I did a lot of things related to the media. For example, I used to be an actor. I have also been engaged in music I tried basically any and everything that young people will do. Of course, I remember I used to be a rapper. A lot of people will not know this, but I was rapping in Farafenye. I was in the same group with Hoijalo, Mahmoud Jeng back in the days in Farafenye. Called Jokoji Massive, and people from Farafenye actually will know this. We used to perform at the Furals, we used to perform at the Youth Center, we used to perform at Eddie's nightclubs. A lot of the people actually, or musicians who came to Farafenye at the time, we did open their shows at the time. So I was very involved with this. I was doing acting. I also, during Commonwealth days, I will be the president or act certain roles that would require me to give a speech. So indirectly, I've been involved in talking and doing some things that are related to talking and media work. So when I came to St. Augustine's High School, I was part of the Writers Club. I represented the school in a lot of debates, in a lot of quiz competitions, and that is how it all started. Now, the Writers Club used to publish a magazine called the Sunukibaro magazine, and at some point, I was the deputy editor-in-chief of this magazine. Big up to our English and literature teacher, Mr. Osas, Ozo Eson Osayawambo. So I was a writer, still, and acting. I remember writing a play called Dishonest Beggars, which was a writing competition, Gambia for Gambian writers. High school students, matter of fact. In the area of prose, drama, and poetry. During that year, my play Dishonest Beggars won the best playwriting competition, the best play category, and Olufemi Peters, who is currently in the UK. I remember the son of Femi Peters actually won, I think, the best poetry category, and Fatim Baji, who was one time Minister of Information, won. She was the deputy head girl of Gambia High School. She won the best prose category. So technically, I have been involved in journalism, whether writing or speaking. And I was the deputy editor of St. Augustine's Sunukibaro magazine. Now that finished, I continued doing what I am doing. But this is how basically I started into journalism. I have written and published several articles, of course, in the Daily Observer back in the days, our school magazine. And yes, basically these are some of the things I did. And when I was going to school too, I went to do a lot of advocacy work. At the radio stations, Radio 1 FM. I remember during our Gamsense Reconciliation program, we did a lot of sensitization. I went to Radio 1 FM, City Limits Radio, GRTS Radio, GRTS Television at the time. So basically, these were not shows that I hosted, but I was invited to actually do programs on this. And at some point, actually, Aji Sejalo, who was doing the youth show on GRTS, actually invited me. I think I co-hosted a couple of shows with her on GRTS TV, and this is how it all started. And with Youth in Development and Change, YDAC as well. We did organize a lot of programs when I was in Gambia that included talking and writing. And I was interviewed and featured by a lot of people. Interestingly enough, a lot of people, this may interest a lot of people. Panderimbai, of course, of Freedom newspaper, told me when we were in North Carolina, Sumarakayo lekana $50 barisako. And I'm like, how? Because he used to be the Voice of America representative in the Gambia when we were there. So when we had our programs at YDAC, Pamderi will come and interview me, about these programs and at the time. So he told me every story he submitted at the time. VOA will pay him $50. I know right now he's much bigger than that, but at the time, $50 was definitely a lot of money. Comparatively and the like. So in a nutshell, this is how it all started.
But for how long have you been a journalist, and how do you get to know Pandere?
For how long have I been a journalist? Okay, I got in it full time when I established Gambian Talents promotion in 2006 with my colleague Ibunjai, who is a Gambian web designer and DJ in Dallas, Texas. Ibunjai, of course, like I said, is a reggae DJ. I was managing Singate, aka Freaky Joe, who was one of the top Gambian artists at the time in 2006. So I brought him over. We were touring together with Dr. Jude, of course, away. Of course, African Artists Association brought him over to the United States, and we did a tour. Went to different states, including Seattle, and that's how I even know about Seattle, because I brought here Singate here for the first time in 2006. That's how I knew about Seattle, and I fell in love with it. And eventually, over 10 years down the line, I ended up moving down here. So it is through Gambian Singate, my tour with Singate, that Ibunjai was interested to bring him to Texas. Me and Ibunjai got talking, and he made it. We got to both agree that, well, Gambia has a lot of talents and potentials, and these people need exposure, especially in the international world. And Gambians in the diaspora didn't know much, because that time there was no social media, no Facebook, no Instagram or anything. The most you will find is MySpace and High Five. These days, I don't think you were born at the time, but yes, MySpace and High Five were the things that started coming up. So Gambians didn't have a lot of place to. Has a lot of potentials. He's a web developer. He said he can build a website. I had connection with Singate at the time, the likes of Dr. Oluganda, Jaibi the Conqueror, Heartbreaker, you name it. These are the people who were reigning at the time, who were the top Gambian musicians, and I have a connection with them. So even I could build a website, I could get the content, and we just started it. So it started as an online blog where I did a lot of writing at the time, posting biographies of them, pictures, their event calendars, shows they were having, and having interviews with them at the time. And of course that grew. As times go by, the potential to add an online radio came. We added an online radio. Now we became a radio and a blog. In addition to writing stories and interviews, written format, we also added the radio. Of course, I started hosting radio programs. This is the time that I actually get to know Coach Pa Sambajao more, because and because he will call into my shows and request Musa Afiangom. His coach Musa Afiangom regular Dunda. He'll ask me to play Musa Angom for him. May his soul rest in peace. So I did the radio shows. Came up with different programs. In addition to the Gambian Talent Show, which was aired live on Paradise FM in the Gambia, and on the Gambian Talents Radio, and on Big Tune Radio, 3 platforms, and actually Kibaro Radio. Pamudu Bojang of Membe Kiering now at the time was on Kibaro, and then he will actually air my programs. He contacted me and said he wants to actually start airing my programs on Kibaro. I gave him the go ahead, and he was airing my programs every weekend on Kibaro. So I will be on Gambian Talents Radio. I'll be on Paradise FM in the Gambia live, which was big. A lot of people listened to it. I was on Big Tune Radio, and I was also on Kibaro. So on 4 to 5 different platforms. So I did that, and later on came up with Lutah Gambia to Them Show with Eva Sar, came up with Celeb Avenue with Jallo Jerry, came up with Sentiment Show with Jallo Jerry, which of course I'm bringing back with Sima Haidara now, and several programs. So different people also approached me. I also gave different people the opportunity to come to the platform and do shows. Menyanta came with Pa Ibrahim Mama Koto, Pinchum Jollof Show with Alaji Nyohor, Hewi Jamano with Eva Sar, Tel Marajak. Different programs. And this was before online radio even became very popular, and we were doing a lot of socio-cultural related programs and projects. So basically, this is how it all started, and now the potential for online television came. I mean, from 3 years ago, we added that as well, and now, Alhamdulillah, we are a full-fledged online newspaper, radio, and television. This is how it started.
How do you get to know Pandiri?
Pandiri Mbai, I know Pandiri from Gambia. Okay. If anything, I've just told you how he used to cover our programs. First, I told you when I was going to St. Augustine's, I was involved with the Writers Club. His little brother, Alaji Mbai, I was his senior. He was going to Gambia High School while I was attending St. Augustine's High School. So Alaji Mbai, of course, will come to St. Augustine's to cover a lot of our things because he was a freelance journalist for the Daily Observer at the time. So he was very close. Me and Alaji were very close. We hang out. We do a lot of things together. In fact, we go to studies together and stuff. And of course, through Alaji, I get to know Pandiri. Youth in Development and Change was a very powerful non-profit organization through which I even came to the United States. Actually, a lot of people may not know, but this was a non-profit that 7 of us from St. Augustine, very dynamic, I mean, young people. I give kudos to Ousman Joof, Mohammed Ngalan, Nurusi, Lamin Jai, Aliou Ngom, who did I leave behind? We called us the G7. I mean, we came together and formed the Youth in Development and Change. I mean, and this was a very powerful organization. So we did organize a lot of programs. We use acting and drama, I mean, to actually sensitize the young people about current issues, key issues that was affecting us or that were affecting us at the time. For example, HIV and AIDS. I mean, the youths being lazy, sitting on the streets and doing nothing, teenage pregnancy, the burning issues that were affecting young people at the time. So we always organized programs at Alliance Franco-Gambian, I mean, participated in a lot of things. So Pandiri always came to actually cover our events. And these are the events I'm telling you that he covered for VOA, I mean, and interviewed me, and he was getting paid, I mean, for those things. So that's when I knew him, and we became closer. And when I came to America, I moved to North Carolina. He was there, and I mean, we became very close over there in North Carolina. We did quite a good number of things, hang out, and when at the time he was writing for Babukar of All Gambian newspaper in Minnesota. Big up to Bob because he played a big role in actually sensitizing the Gambian people. Pandere and Babukar fell apart because of a few things that happened between them, stories that he wrote about the former Vice President Azetunjai Saidi and a few things. And as a result, when they fell apart, he decided to open his own newspaper because he used to write a lot of stories for Babukar at the time, especially political stories. That's when he opened the Freedom newspaper, and it started growing and whatsoever. So we were closely in touch. Suma brother moy lolu momit benen kenen ku tarxis la, he's very, I mean, stubborn and all of that. But yes, in short, this is how I know Pandiri.
Founder of Gambian Talent TV.
I just told you earlier that Gambian Talent TV is the latest of the 3 components or 3 to 4 components of Gambian Talent promotion. It started as an online blog, a newspaper, where we only wrote stories, posted articles and interviews, videos, and even sold Gambian music CDs at the time. I remember we sold CDs. I mean, we had the CDs of ST Bilkama Boyo listed there. We had the CD of Humanity Stars listed there. We have the CD of Hamaleji listed there, and a few Gambian artists and a few movies, matter of fact, were also listed on the Gambian Talents platform at the time. So it started with that. Then the Gambian Talents radio came, where we could actually do a lot of radio talk shows and programs and live stream Gambian music 24/7. Anytime we did not have a show, we were actually streaming, continuously streaming 24/7 different Gambian music. And finally, the online TV came. So in short, it is the foundation that Ibunjai and myself set in 2006 that started as an online blog then radio, that ended up turning out to be the Gambian Talents TV that a lot of people see by now. A lot of people see and think we just, television, and but then it started with blog, radio, and then television now.
Okay, at what age do you dream of owning an online television?
That's a very funny question to me, because there was nothing like an online television when I was growing up for me to dream of owning one. So honestly, I never dream of owning an online television or managing or leading an online television, because there was none. It's just nature that is actualizing itself. Like I said, we started with a blog. It started with me promoting Singate and traveling with him around the United States, and that turned to be a promotion entity, which started like a full, profit thing that is actually now, non-profit and like registered in the Gambia and of course here. So you can see that it started evolving until it now becomes a television. I didn't expect it. I didn't know it was going to be like this. 5 years ago, if you told me I was going to be on the screens, I would not believe it. So honestly, I never dream of, owning or managing or operating a television.
What is Gambian Talent TV all about?
Okay, I guess I was ahead with this because I've said part of it. Gambian Talents TV started as an online blog. I said it. A newspaper. A radio was added. A television was added. And a foundation is added. So it's 4 components. The television, of course, our mandate is here to inform, educate, and entertain Gambians. As well as tap, nurture, and promote Gambian talents. And for those of the people who are following us, know that this is something that we are very passionate about. We are doing a lot of, in the process of tapping, nurturing, and promoting talents. We are doing this to a great extent because we have an internship program which you are currently benefiting from. That's one of the things that we do. We have in the Gambia over 50 young people that we have trained or we are training currently. Some of whom we are proud to say we train them and we employ them to actually run the institution in the Gambia. They are doing very well in different areas, from graphic design, web design, videography, journalism, public speaking, you name it. This is something that we are very proud of, to train young people. They become successful and we employ them. That's something good. On the other hand, for those that we could not employ, some of them end up having jobs in other institutions. There are some of them who are actually working in different platforms at this point in the Gambia, which we are very proud of. When I sit down and I, for any reason, watch one of the local televisions like Gttv and I see Maria Tussar on the screens, I am very proud. I remember the time that I used to be on the phone with Maria Tu, helping her, giving her questions, training her and going through a lot of the things. If I hear her reporting now, it's very suiting for me. Of course, Sira Jaju right now is doing videography for one of the online TVs over there, blog. Everything she knows with videography, she knows from Gambian Talents. You have Lamin DCC, who is doing his own thing now. What he knows from Gambian Talents. So we are doing a lot of training for young people in the Gambia, and of course here in the United States we have started with you and your brother, training you, wanting to be a journalist. That's why you are sitting here with me. After 3 weeks of classes, you are here. I'm giving you the opportunity to hold the mic to interview me, and we have your brother behind the camera also doing good work. So that is one of the things we do. Philanthropic services or activities. We gather a lot of used clothes, electronic materials, cooking utensils, and we ship this to the Gambia to help poor and needy families. Anything from people who need urgent medical treatment abroad. The people who follow our Facebook and YouTube channel will see that barely does a week pass and we don't post a video of somebody in the Gambia who actually we go to interview to talk about how they need urgent medical treatment abroad because the system is not able to treat them in the Gambia. They cannot have treatment in the Gambia. They want to travel to the US, to other places. And as we speak, matter of fact, somebody is benefiting from that program because this young girl, I mean, less than 7-year-old girl, is currently in Turkey with her mom. The mom contacted us. We went and interviewed the mom, showed the young girl and her hand and everything. Sira, baby Sira, I mean, the office of the first lady, Fatou Babaro Foundation, saw them on our page. They contacted the lady and I mean, actually arranged. They find them visas and everything, a hospital in Turkey, and they took them to Turkey. Right now, as we speak, this young girl is in Turkey getting treatment. So there are several other people who benefited from such programs. I mean, we have families that were affected by fire. I mean, that we did fundraising for online and got them some money to support them. I mean, here in Seattle, we are doing quite a lot of programs. We have created an association for our grandmas, the Seattle Gambian Grandma Association, and this is something that is dear to our hearts because our moms who are here are enjoying themselves. They are able to talk, I mean, amongst themselves, interact, and do a lot of programs that are actually benefiting the community, going to the masjid, donating money, and I mean, all other projects that we are doing here. We do a back to school program for the Gambian, I mean, kids here. I mean, at the end of the summer, we do a back to school program with the Northwest Seattle Gambian Association and of course the Kuntak Inter Foundation. Then, I mean, this is something that is very important that we do. Currently, we are doing a lot of awareness about the 2020 census. I mean, so these are just some of the programs and activities that Gambian Talents Promotion is involved in addition to informing, educating, and creating awareness among Gambians, both back home and in the diaspora, and also holding society and the government accountable to what they need to be.
What is your dream job if you quit owning a online television?
Boy, this is very funny to me. I do not, and I say again, I do not intend to quit owning or participating or doing media work. As I always say in Wolof, Olof Njaay mu ne kuy odo la meñ su noppé rafle. I'm not planning on quitting. I am not planning on quitting owning or participating or being in the media on the screens. I love the screens. I love my microphone, and I have always said it to anybody and everybody that's close to me because the job, on a more serious note, the job is very challenging and very rough. There are times that I have conversations and discussions and issues with anywhere from my wife, my mom, siblings, my friends, people that are close to me about the job, because I have became the subject of discussion. I have become the subject of vilification. I have been presented like a villain. I've been presented like a monster. I've been presented like a very bad person. I've been talked about in a very negative way. And my family, my loved ones did not want to hear this, and they wanted me to quit. So in the nicest and most possible way, I will try to apologize to them. I will tell them I am sorry. I know how complicated it is, how hard it is. I know what I put you guys through and what I put myself through. They be like, "Bye ligay bi, ñun do ko bula. Bye linga def ni lifin." I will negotiate. If any of them is to insist, in the nicest way, I will tell them, "Kuma buga ay ligay bi, ma far bay la yo jappa suma ligay." So I would rather quit anything else for this because I love this. It gives me joy.
Okay. Do you have any advice for your young ones who wish to be a journalist like you?
Yes, the advice will be, try to be factual. Try to do research. This job is not easy. I have not officially gone to school for it. I taught myself a lot through experience, because I do a lot of hands-on work. I do a lot of research. It's very important for you to do research and be on top of information, because if you say you are a journalist, it involves speaking, it involves writing, and if you don't write, you don't read, you cannot improve. On a daily basis, you have to be on top of information. You have to poke your nose in everything that is happening, everything that is going about. You have to be interested in the welfare of the society, what is happening in society, so that at the end of the day, you will be able to talk about these things. Your role as a journalist should be to inform and educate the people, to make people understand things that they did not understand, things that they didn't know, to break things down for the society. That is your responsibility, to help society to make sense out of things that don't make any sense, either by you doing the research and coming to present it to them, or you bring in experts or people who know about these things to actually come and talk. Your role is just to give out the facts. You are supposed to be impartial. You are supposed to be independent. You are supposed to be consistent with what you do. And at the end of the day, you will be called names. I just told you how I am called a lot of names. It's going to be very challenging. It's not an easy job or task to do, because anytime you do something, there are people that you put a smile on their face, that you make happy. But there are people that you also make sad. There are people that, who don't like what you're doing. So you have to be able to balance it out, because everything that you are doing, is to educate the people. You should not worry about people's feelings, positive or negative, as long as what you are doing is the right thing. You're not supposed to be going to create stories just because you have a microphone or you have a pen. As often said, the pen is mightier than the sword. Just because you have a pen or because you have a microphone doesn't mean that you should just get up and say anything and everything you want, because when you write, you can make or damage somebody. When you speak, you can make or damage somebody. So it's very important that you are sure of what you are saying. Or if you are not sure, go ahead and follow due diligence by inquiring, by asking, by following up with the people concerned. Now, that is the biggest challenge we, the Gambian journalists or media personnel, have access to information. Gambian be dafa hot. A lot of us can be very selfish. We can be manipulative. We can follow our interests so much so that we will not even care the impact of our actions. Or we can be very negligent or have a lackadaisical attitude or relax and do something, and at the end of the day, if the journalists talk about it, if the journalists bring it out, if the journalists expose it, we now want to be mad about that journalist or with that journalist for actually doing that, when we are not doing what we are supposed to do, or we didn't do the right thing. So upcoming journalists or young people who want to be journalists, let them know that they are getting in a very risky field. They are getting in a very challenging field. It can pay off, but yes, it takes time before it pays off. You have to be passionate about it. You have to love it. You have to be, ready to actually do this, because if you don't, if you are not passionate, if you don't love it, if you are not sure, you will not excel in it. If it is money that's making you do it, if it is fame that's making you do it, it takes time before you can get money, or you can get quick money because people can buy you and you become rich overnight. But that's not sustainable, because your credibility is on the line if you are bought to actually be biased. If you are bought, that gets you to write an unfair story or take sides, eventually your credibility is going to be on the line and people will get to know. So you got to be fair and balanced and make sure that you are factual with whatever you are saying, and you don't care much about people's emotions, whether they are right or wrong, as long as what you did was the right thing, because it is your responsibility to actually shape society through your writing, through your pen, and through your microphone. This is the advice I will have for young people in a nutshell.
Okay, thank you very much, Pa Ousman, for having me tonight. We really appreciate it. According to Pa Ousman, struggle make you stronger. I do not mind what people say or think about you. And according to Pa Ousman, the founder of Gambian Talent TV, he has been through many prejudice, people discriminating and saying stuff about him that he don't like, but he just ignore them and keep going. That means no matter what happen, do not mind what people say or think about you. No matter what happen, and do not care about the money If you want to be a journalist, you have to be patient, careful, and respectful. Yeah, that is the end. Thank you for watching.
Nyunulela dokuo seneyata Gambia Talents TV.